Good morning, and welcome to the 2026 Annual Meeting of Stockholders of Arcturus Therapeutics Holdings, Inc. We are holding this year's annual meeting as an entirely virtual meeting. Stockholders who require technical assistance during the meeting can call Continental's technical support line at the phone number posted on the meeting login page. I am Joe Payne, President and CEO, as well as a member of the Board of Directors. It is now 9 a.m. on June 5th, 2026. This meeting will please come to order. Also participating in this meeting are Dr. Pad Chivukula, Chief Scientific Officer and Chief Operating Officer of the company, Lance Carrata, the company's Chief Legal Officer and Secretary of the meeting, Alwyn Burton of Continental Stock Transfer and Trust Company, who has been appointed as Inspector of Election and Stockholders' Votes of the meeting, and Casey Freer and Devin Gibson of Deloitte & Touche LLP, independent registered accountants of the company. Members of our board of directors are also participating in this meeting. I would now like to proceed with the formal business of the meeting. As a preliminary matter, we note that stockholders may submit questions through the virtual meeting website at any time during the meeting. The company will, at its discretion, provide answers to properly raised and appropriate questions on the investor relations section of its website after the meeting. And Casey Freer and Devin Gibson may also respond to properly raised and appropriate questions directed to Deloitte. I will act as chairperson of the meeting, and Mr. Carrata will act as secretary of the meeting. The matters on which the stockholders at today's meeting are voting are: 1. To elect Dr. Peter Farrell, Joseph E. Payne, James Barlow, Dr. Edward W. Holmes, Dr. Magda Marquette, Dr. Jane L. Morantz, Dr. John H. Markels, and Dr. Monsef Slawi to the Board of Directors to serve until our next annual meeting of stockholders. 2. To approve by non-binding advisory vote the resolution approving named executive officer compensation of the company. 3. To ratify the appointment of Deloitte & Touche LLP as the company's independent registered public accounting firm for the fiscal year ending December 31, 2026. And 4. To transact other business that may properly come before the meeting.
I present a list of Arcturus stockholders as of the close of business on April 14, 2026, which is the record date for this meeting. The stockholders on this list are entitled to vote at this meeting, and this list has been certified by Continental Stock Transfer and Trust Company, the transfer agent for the company's common stock.
The list of stockholders is open for inspection by any stockholder participating in this meeting and is available on the virtual meeting website. Continental Stock Transfer and Trust Company has also certified that each stockholder entitled to vote at this meeting has been sent a notice of this meeting. The initial order of business is to determine the presence of a quorum. Pursuant to action taken by the Board of Directors, only stockholders of the record of our common stock as of April 14, 2026 are entitled to notice and to vote at this meeting. Alwyn has been appointed as Inspector of Election and stockholders' votes and has executed the required oath.
Mr. Chairman, I wish to report that I have examined the list of stockholders entitled to vote at this meeting, and I have determined that the number of shares outstanding common stock at the record date is 28,423,069. Holders of at least 33 1/3% of the voting power of the company's outstanding common stock entitled to vote at this meeting must be present in person or represented by proxy for us to hold and transact business at this meeting. On the record date, there were 28,423,069 shares outstanding and entitled to vote. Thus, the holders of at least 9,473,409 shares must be present in person or represented by proxy at this meeting to have a quorum. The number of votes present at this meeting in person or by proxy is 21,435,189, which constitutes approximately 75.4% of the total outstanding shares of common stock entitled to vote as of the record date.
I hereby determine that the number of votes represented at this meeting, in person or by proxy, constitutes a quorum for the conduct of business at this meeting. The first matter to be voted on today is the election of Dr. Peter Farrell, myself, Joseph E. Payne, James Barlow, Dr. Edward W. Holmes, Dr. Magda Marquette, Dr. Jing L. Morantz, Dr. John Markels, and Dr. Monsef Slaoui to the Board of Directors as set forth more fully in Proposal Number 1 of the proxy statement. A motion to approve Proposal Number 1 is now in order.
I hereby move to approve Proposal Number 1.
I second the motion and hereby declare this motion duly made. The second matter to be voted on today is the approval on the advisory basis of the Say on Pay proposal as set forth more fully in Proposal Number 2 of the proxy statement. A motion to approve Proposal Number 2 is now in order.
I hereby move to approve Proposal Number 2.
I second the motion and hereby declare this motion duly made. The third matter to be voted on today is the ratification of the appointment of Deloitte & Touche LLP as the company's independent registered public accounting firm for the fiscal year ending December 31, 2026, as set forth more fully in Proposal Number 3 of the proxy statement. A motion to approve Proposal Number 3 is now in order.
I hereby move to approve Proposal Number 3.
And I second the motion and hereby declare this motion duly made. It is now ordered that the polls be opened for voting on Proposals 1, 2, and 3, with each proposal as described more fully in the proxy statement. Any stockholder who has not yet voted or wishes to change their vote may do so by clicking on the voting button on the web portal and following the instructions there. Stockholders who have sent in proxies or voted via internet and do not want to change their vote do not need to take any further action. We will declare the polls closed in 1 minute. The votes are in, and I declare the polls closed. The inspector will now report on the votes properly made prior to the meeting. The inspector will provide the company with a final report tomorrow that reflects any votes properly made at this meeting. I understand that the inspector is now ready to provide a preliminary report. Mr. Burton, will you please provide the preliminary report?
As given in the proxy statement, the election of each of Dr. Peter Farrell, Dr. Joseph E. Payne, James Barlow, Dr. Edward W. Holmes, Dr. Magda Marquette, Dr. Jing L. Morantz, Dr. John Markels, and Dr. Monsef Slaoui to the Board of Directors pursuant to Proposal Number 1 requires a plurality of votes casted by holders of shares present in person or represented by proxy at the meeting and entitled to vote thereon. As each of the nominees has received more than one vote in favor of his or her election, I hereby declare Proposal Number 1 has been approved. As given in the proxy statement, the approval by non-binding advisory vote of the resolution approving named executive officers' compensation pursuant to Proposal Number 2 requires the affirmative vote of a majority of the votes cast on the proposal at the meeting. With 15,254,240 votes received in favor of Proposal Number 2, which exceeds the majority of the votes cast on the proposal, I hereby declare that Proposal Number 2 has been approved on an advisory basis. As given in the proxy statement, the ratification of the appointment of Deloitte & Touche LLP pursuant to Proposal Number 3 requires the affirmative vote of a majority of votes cast on this proposal at the meeting. With 21,378,017 votes received in favor of Proposal Number 3, which exceeds the majority of the votes cast on the proposal, I hereby declare that Proposal Number 3 has been approved.
Thank you, Mr. Burton. You have heard the preliminary report of the inspector, and I declare that Proposals Numbers 1, 2, and 3 have passed and been duly approved by the stockholders of the company on a preliminary basis. In the case of Proposal Number 2, on an advisory basis only. I hereby request that the preliminary report of the inspector be filed with the minutes of this meeting. The final report of the inspector will be provided to the company by June 8, 2026, and a report on Form 8K will be filed with the SEC with the results of this meeting no later than June 11, 2026. This completes the stockholder voting to be conducted at this meeting. Since there are no other matters to come before the meeting, a motion to adjourn the meeting is now in order.
I move that the meeting be adjourned.
The motion has been carried. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.